Here is the latest news about the fourth stimulus check that you have to know. This is very important stimulus information, folks, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So weekly jobless claims have hit another crisis-era low as the elimination of enhanced benefits have sent fewer people to the unemployment line. And also, President Biden said that he would not support adding a work requirement for the enhanced child tax credit in the Democrats' massive social spending bill. This puts him at odds with Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Biden told CNN that all these people are working, and millions of children are set to be lifted out of poverty this year, because the Democrats temporarily beefed up the child tax credit in the last stimulus relief package. Extending the enhanced credit is included in Democrats' massive social spending bill. Now Manchin, whose supporters need to pass legislation, has said he wants to require parents to work in order to qualify for the credit. And that's a shift that could exclude millions of the nation's poorest families.
Medicaid, there are 860,000, I think it's 860, don't hold me the exact number, it's over 800,000, who qualify for home health care aid for their parents. But there's no money there. There's no money there. So what we do is we provide the funding for Medicaid to allow you to be able to keep, if your parents had their home, keeping them in their home if you want it, or get help in your home with home care from professionals helping you take care of them, helping you take care of them. And in many cases where you're not taking care of them in your own home, but they're staying in their home, you're going to be able to have the ability to have someone come in and make their meals for them. They don't have to be there 24/7. So there's a lot of things we're doing. In addition to the process, we're going to be able to train up those home care workers who are usually minority women, women of color, as well as immigrants. And they have the capacity to learn more as they go along to move to the point where they can become practical nurses and things like that. So it makes a lot of sense, and it's cheaper than it is to not do it.
One of the other things that Democrats are looking to do is to expand Medicare to include dental, vision, and hearing as well. Given all the negotiations that are going on, will all three of those still be covered?
That's a reach. And the reason why it's a reach, it's not this, I think it's a good idea. And it's not that costly in relative terms, especially if we allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. But here's the thing. Mr. Manchin is opposed to that, as is, I think, Senator Sinema is as well.
Opposed to all of them?
Opposed to all three, because they don't want, he says he doesn't want to further burden Medicare so that, because it will run out of its ability to maintain itself in X number of years. There's ways to fix that, but not interested in that part either. But look, Joe's not a bad guy.
Travel to New Jersey, where he will visit a school and one of the busiest railroad bridges in the country to continue rallying support for both his bipartisan infrastructure deal and Build Back Better agenda. Back in Washington, President Biden will meet with his All Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew and welcome the official delegation of the Orthodox Christian Church of the United States. I was about to lose my Greek American card there for a second, but I think I sailed through. On Tuesday, the president will campaign with former Governor Terry McAuliffe in Arlington, Virginia. On Thursday, the president and First Lady will travel to Rome, Italy. On Friday, the president will visit the Vatican City and have an audience with His Holiness Pope Francis. They will discuss working together on efforts grounded in respect for fundamental human dignity, including ending the COVID-19 pandemic, tackling the climate crisis, and caring for the poor. On Saturday and Sunday, the president will participate in the G20 Leaders Summit. We will have more on individual bilateral engagements in the run-up to the summit. And from Rome, the president will travel to Glasgow, United Kingdom, from November 1st through the 2nd to participate in the World Leaders Summit at the start of COP26, the 26th conference of the parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. I will note a programming note for all of you. We will have Jake Sullivan in here next week. We're working on finalizing the details to preview the trip in advance of the president's departure.
Joe Manchin has not provided details on what such a mandate would entail, but did point out to CNN that there's no work requirement whatsoever. Experts said the simplest way to mandate the households to receive the benefit would be to bring back the credit's earnings requirement. Until the crisis relief measure was enacted, a family with less than $2,500 in earned income did not qualify for the child tax credit, and a single parent with 2 children earning between $2,500 and $30,000 only received a partial credit. Everybody, and this is also the most important news that I want you to know. Democrats see a $1 trillion plus deal within reach, but not until next week. Democrats are now inching closer to a deal on President Biden's social spending plan. Biden did speak with Nancy Pelosi on Friday, and that's as Democrats close in on a deal on President Biden's social spending plan, which, folks, could include a fourth stimulus check. Still, several sources with knowledge of the intensifying talks said they have doubted a deal could come together, at least for this week. That's because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Democrats now head into the final week of October with far more clarity from that duo than they began. Nancy Pelosi seemed upbeat as she returned from the White House and told reporters she believed the deal was within reach. Still, Pelosi declined to say whether the House could vote on either the social spending bill or the Senate-passed infrastructure bill next week. Pelosi said, "I'm very optimistic that we can get this done." So everybody, hopefully Nancy Pelosi keeps her words and sends out the fourth stimulus check before the end of the year. Nancy Pelosi also told reporters that there are many decisions that have to be made. So, these negotiations are continuing, folks, and Chuck Schumer saying this. According to multiple sources, Manchin said the party still has work to do as he left the Capitol. Democrats are now aiming to sell Manchin and Sinema on a roughly $2 trillion bill that tackles climate action, expanding paid family leave, education, and child care. And this is going to be paid for as much as possible by increasing taxes on corporations and wealthy Americans. They are unlikely to raise income or corporate tax rate due to opposition from Sinema. But Democrats are proposing workarounds to establish a corporate minimum tax levy on billionaires. Thank you again, everybody, for your support. Now let's see what Bernie Sanders is saying about the fourth stimulus check.
Continue to stand in the way. Yesterday was such a sad day. Senate Republicans voted to aid and abet the most dangerous campaign of voter suppression since Jim Crow, as they blocked a vote on the Freedom to Vote Act, hurting their own constituents and dishonoring the sanctity of the vote in our Constitution. The stakes could not be higher. State lawmakers have introduced 425 voter suppression bills in 49 states in the 2021 sessions alone. A number of them have become law, and they must be overturned, and this legislation would do that. It would not only end their voter suppression laws, but it would end their vote nullification laws. They're there to overturn the results of an election. Really? House Democrats have passed